Most recently, in a reboot of Tales of the City, she returned to one of the as the transgender hot-rowing landlady at the San Francisco complex, and expanded her fan base to the LGBT community. And so it's interesting. She openly really became a household name at 56, but legacy is the illustrious one on stage, screen. She was an acting teacher as well. And I'll certainly be spending today having my own Olympic Party still festival.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances. Please, who is taking the host? Right, me.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I'm giving the person the host now.
Bhakti.
Stephen, you are host. Please give the person who is going to share the screen, please.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Bhakti, you can take over now. She's not here yet. Very good. So I'm enjoying it. Bhakti, you can take over the host now.
Yes, Srila Gurudev, actually, they have made Stephen Prabhu as the host, so I cannot do it. Yeah, now I'm the host, Gurudev.
So you better do it now.
Yes, Gurudev, they've made me the host.
Yes. You know him. Right. Jairada Madhava Pandya Vihari Jairada Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Jaja Janarandana Lamunati Panasari Jamunati Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana
This one founder Charya Jagar Guru Sesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sula Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupat Paramahamsa Padiva Jagacharya Stu Terasita Sisima Divines. The Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Ananda Guru Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Sula Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyamakul Radha Kunda Giri Gauravan Ki Vrindavan Mathuradam Ki Jai Navadu Maipudam Ki Jai Jagannath Puridam Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganges Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramana. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. Glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru Sri Gauranga. Panjalakshmi Maharaj Ki Tirtha Shami Sri Krishna Gaura Karma. Magyana Turandasya Gyana Salakaya Chakshunuvitana Tasmai Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yudapadakam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Ramam Shagatatam Sadhakana Raghunatam Sadhidam Sadhetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dina Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahaguna Rita Sri Visakanitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Banda Bhagavate Yotisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visavana Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhuvaivacha Patitanam Pavilibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Isopanisad ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Love you.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandava Pranams Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Pragati, can you put on the
Yes, Gurudev.
So we continue our discussion from Isopanisad. And we are in introduction. Introduction, we go to part A. We have 3 sections, A, B, and C. So yesterday we were looking at the A. Yesterday some of you didn't see the picture. This is a lecture Prabhupada gave in London on the 6th of October, 1969. So the introduction we are reading is actually a lecture. Just one lecture. Prabhupada has loaded everything so much that it will take some time to understand it. Just one lecture. So we are looking at the section A yesterday. Can you go to A? Yeah, we have A, B, and C. A, B, and C. So we look at what are the Vedas yesterday. And Prabhupada explained the Vedas we went through yesterday. So we'll continue from A. So we look at our knowledge is imperfect. Our knowledge is imperfect. Why? Because we commit mistakes. We get delusioned. We have the propensity to cheat. And we have imperfect senses. Our senses are imperfect. We can't even hear properly. We can't see properly. We can't do anything properly. Those days, people just hear once, and the person will be able to repeat it. These days, we cannot hear once and repeat it. Even many times, you cannot repeat it. It will take long because our senses have become so dull. Why our senses have become so dull is due to indulgence in sense gratification. But the time Mahaprabhu, he told Murari Gupta, he was using Murari Gupta to teach us. The part of karma and gyan make the senses very, very dull. So we cannot sitting perfectly, we can't hear perfectly, we can't do anything perfectly. Even after repeated times. So many mistakes are there. And so Prabhupada explained that we have axiomatic truth. Axiomatic truth, which is a Vedas. Axiomatic truth. Similarly, the Satrias, the administrator group, are the next intelligent class of people, then the Vaishyas, the mercantile group. These natural classifications are found everywhere. This is the Vedic principle, and we accept it. Vedic principles are accepted as axiomatic truth, for there cannot be any mistake. They are axiomatic truth because it's not mistake, there's no imperfection. Axiomatic truth. Why axiomatic? Why do I say better? Because they have no defect, they're not perfection. That is acceptance. For instance, in India, cow dung is accepted as pure, and yet cow dung is the stool of an animal. In one place, you will find the Vedic injunction that if you touch stool, you have to take bath immediately. But in another place, it is said that the stool of a cow is pure. If you smell cow dung in an impure place, that place becomes pure. With our ordinary sense, we can argue that is contradictory. Actually, it is contradictory from the ordinary point of view, but it is not false. It is fact. In Calcutta, a very prominent scientist and doctor analyzed cow dung and found that it contains all antiseptic properties. But our ordinary sense is so many things which are contradictory. But what the Vedas say cannot be contradictory, even if you see something in the Vedas which seems to be contradictory, like this example Prabhupada gave you, cow dung. And when we look at the history, look at the scripture, you see that there are things which were very difficult sometimes to understand. After some time, becomes easy to understand. And sometimes are also acceptable at the one time, another time it is not acceptable. That you see in history. The main things are like when you look at the scripture, this is what you see. The Veda is considered like our mother. It is called Sabda Pramana, and it gives transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge cannot be acquired by any other means. We cannot approach a foolish person to give us transcendental knowledge. It is called transcendental knowledge. So from the Vedas, we have both para and apara prakriti. Material and spiritual knowledge. The knowledge given in the Vedas can be categorized into three. Three ways of getting knowledge. They're actually 10, not 3. They are 10. But out of the 10, we have primarily 3. We have the base of the base of them is 3. So we have 3 ways of getting knowledge, but actually they are 10, according to Sajiva Goswami. Sajiva Goswami gave 10. So we have Pratyaksha Pramana, we have Anumana Pramana, and we have Sabda Pramana. And then we have 2 approaches to this process. Inductive, which is Avaroha Panta, and deductive, Aroha Panta. We will also look at from this to approach this knowledge. We cannot get it on our own. So how do we get it? We have to approach a spiritual master, a guru, a devotee of Lord Krishna. Have to approach a devotee of Lord Krishna. And we also look at the qualification of the spiritual master to represent Krishna. We'll look at his qualification. What are the qualifications? He has heard from the right source. He has heard from the right source. And he has a practical realization and he has accepted it fully. So you look at the book, it properly explains. There are 3 kinds of evidences: Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Sabda. Pratyaksha means direct. You want to see. You may tell what did they say? You may tell what they said. What I see is what?
Seeing is belief.
What I see is what? I believe. Is it correct? Is it correct?
No, Guru Maharaj.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with Pratyaksha? What is wrong with Pratyaksha?
Because our senses are imperfect, so whatever we see also imperfect.
Okay, very good. Our senses are imperfect, so whatever we see is imperfect. Yes, our senses are defective. Yes.
We have the propensity to make mistakes.
Okay, yeah, we make mistakes. So whatever we see, it is a mistake, not correct. What again? What is wrong with Pratyaksha?
And we can also be under illusion.
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Maharaj.
Yes, you can be in illusion. Yes. Yes, go ahead. No, what is wrong with Pratyaksha? What I see, what I believe.
Our eyes can also see only material things. Unless Krishna granted a divine eye, we cannot see divine things.
Okay, very good.
Upon our defection, whatever was as the truth today, the time it also will come first because we're going to know everything.
All right, very good.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Because of our imperfect senses, everything we see on our own will be affected by that.
Okay, very good. Is any one of us who have no mind? Is anyone here who has no mind? Do you have anyone here? Anyone among us here who have no mind? No mind?
No, everybody has.
Have you seen their mind?
No.
No.
So, what I see, what I believe. So I believe you don't have mind. It's only me who have mind. You accept that? Will you accept that?
No.
No, Mara, you can't accept that.
Have you seen their minds? Have you seen their intelligence? Have you seen their senses? Have you seen air?
No, Mara.
So what is the importance of our seeing? It does not make any sense because we cannot see. We cannot see. Yesterday, the Prophet already told us if the light goes off, who will see anything? So we need electricity, we need fire, we need the stars, we need the moons, we need all the luminaries because we cannot see. Therefore, it's something wrong with protection. Direct. What I see is what I believe. So all of us agree that this is not correct. Anumana. What is Anumana? Anuma.
Small.
Anuma means what?
Knowledge acquired by experimentation.
Knowledge acquired by experimentation. Okay, you can make experiments. Okay. What experiment are you going to make to find out your mother? Who is your mother? Who is your father? Can you make it? What experiment are you going to make to find out who is your mother? Who is your father?
A DNA test.
Huh?
A DNA test.
DNA test. I have seen DNA tests. People have been testing, and the machine said they are wrong, but one of them did it. In many cases, presently there are so many people who did not know they have diabetes. They got to know it only when they're going to die. They have done a lot of tests. I know. I have a practical experience. I know a lady who was pregnant. She went to the hospital to the doctor to check what kind of a baby is there, a boy or a girl. The doctor look at the scan. The machine says it's a girl. The lady and the man, the husband, the wife, they say, oh, we don't need a boy. We don't need a girl now, we need a boy. So I bought it. They bought it, the baby is a boy. It's our machine can do it. I just lost a friend now. She was a diabetic person, but he never knew until when it was just a few hours for him to leave the body. They'll be having it, so nobody knows. He doesn't know, nobody knows. So what experiment can we make? What experiment can we make to see the soul? And some of us believe, even if we don't have even if you don't have a scientific realization or knowledge about the soul, but at least theoretically we know that there might be a soul, because we have had, if the soul leaves the body stop function. Okay, the body will stop functioning if the soul leaves the body. Okay. So some knowledge is there, but you have seen that. And what experiment can we make for that? What experiment can we make for that? Can you show me experiment? All these are imperfect ways, are completely imperfect. We are seeing the sun daily, and it appears just like a small disk, but it's actually far, far larger than many planets. Of what value is this thing? Therefore, we have to read books. Then we can understand about the sun. So direct experience is not perfect. Then this inductive knowledge, it may be like this hypothesis. For instance, Darwin's theory says it may be like this, it may be like that, but that is not science. That is a suggestion, and it is also not perfect. But if you receive the knowledge from the authoritative sources, that is perfect. If you receive a program guide from the radio station authorities, you accept it, you don't deny it. You don't have to make an experiment because it is received from authoritative sources. We have to approach this Isopanisad. Yesterday, we already established the position of Isopanisad is to keep us very close to Krishna. And when we are kept close to Krishna, all our ignorance are destroyed permanently, certainly. Not that maybe, there's no maybe. It will destroy our imperfections completely. Therefore, Anumana, Pramana is not perfect, not perfect. The very knowledge is called Sabda Pramana, Sabda. Out of the three, we have looked at the Prastaksha, we have looked at Anumana, and we are looking at the Sabda. Sabda Pramana. Another name is Shruti, is scripture. Another name is scripture, the Veda. Shruti means that this knowledge has to be received simply by oral reception, hearing from authorities. The knowledge is be received from hearing from authority. Like the prophet gave an example here. You get the program guide from the radio station. You have a program guide from the radio station. Like now, the host is sending us the link. Eh? Will you doubt the link? No, this link is not correct. You cannot doubt it. You have to accept it because it's coming from the authority. So when you connect to the link, you connect to the person you want to connect with. So there's no doubt about that. Shruti, you have to hear. Sabda, Ramana. By hearing, not by seeing, not by experiment. Experiment is Sukadeva Goswami told us in Bhagavatam that it has already been done. Experimentation has been done already. Just like if you have a cooked food, you have to cook again. The remaining thing is to eat it, honor it. Similarly, the Vedas are present. What we need to do is to hear it from the right source. Hear it from the right source. Don't hear it from the wrong source. You should hear it from the right source. The right source. There is a spiritual sky. There is another nature that is beyond material and non-manifestation. There is a spiritual sky, which is beyond the manifested world. It is non-manifestation. How do we get there? How will you understand it? By experiment? Our scientists have been experimenting to go to the moon. Have they gotten there? Those days it was fully accepted that yes, they went there, they landed in the moon. But Papa said they did not go there. That was a big issue. How can you say they didn't go there? Papa said they did not go there. But today there is movies to prove that they didn't go there. They didn't go there till today, they didn't go there. And they cannot go there. How would they go there? How would they go there? By what means? Even the person who is thousands of times more powerful than all our scientists didn't go there. Ravana. So how can the less important people, those who are less than him can go there? How can they go there? But simply by meeting a sadhu, immediately you can go there. Immediately. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Where are you? Where are you? Goloka Vrindavan. Goloka. Immediately you're in Goloka. With Radha and Krishna. As simple as that. While the scientists are going on with experimentation, devotees are already in Goloka Vrindavan. Not even heaven. Not even heaven. Goloka Vrindavan. Yes. But how will you know that there is a sky where the planets and inhabitants are eternal? All this knowledge is there, but how will you make experiments? How? How are you going to make experiment to get there? How will you make experiment? Our DNA can analyze some things. Even material is full of faults. Do we have a DNA for the spirit soul? My dear devotees, scientists, devotees, have you made the machine for DNA machine for the soul? You're going to do it tomorrow? Or you're still looking for the material?
In the future, in the future.
If you are very, very hungry, or you are desperately in need of money, and I tell you, Prabhu, don't worry, I'm going to give you next year. Will you thank me? Will you appreciate that? You are extremely hungry and you need food now. And I said, don't worry, next year I'll give you food. Don't worry, just next year. It's just next year. Will you accept that? Will you accept?
No marriage.
No,
You are very,
not
very
at
sick.
all.
You are very sick. Coronavirus is about killing. No, you need oxygen, but no oxygen. I will give oxygen next year.
Person is an enemy.
I will give you. Oh, it's an enemy. What enemy? I'm going to give you next year.
No.
Just next year. You need oxygen now, but I'm going to give you next year. Will I say that?
You will die before next year.
Not at all.
Die before next year. So our scientists want to make sure next year, and they're going to make the DNA machine for us next year. While we are dying today. So the Papa described the scientists, the politicians, the philosophers as dangerous people. The scientists, the politicians, and philosophers, they are dangerous people. We will look at it. We will look at it. Why they are dangerous. They are dangerous people. We will look at it. Why they are dangerous. So it is not possible. Therefore, you have to take the assistance of the Vedas. This is called Vedic knowledge. It is Vedic knowledge. So of the two ways we have approaching the Vedas, which one is the best? Inductive and the deductive. Which is the best? Ascending or descending? Which one is the best?
Descending.
Descending. Why is it the best?
Inductive. Yeah. Because it's coming from authority.
It is coming from authority.
And we don't need to speculate and waste time.
No speculation, no wasting time. Is coming from authority. Very good. Very good. Therefore, we should settle for what? Inductive. Because that saves our time. We will get our oxygen now, not next year. We'll get our food now, not next year. I will get our money now, our loan now, not next year. Who will give you a contract and wait for you till next year to start executing it? Are you the only businessman in the world? I look for somebody else who will do it now. If I want to do my contract do my project next year, I will wait for next year before I look for you. Looking for you now means that I need you now to do my work for me. See, you're going to tell you, you're telling me I'm going to do it next year. Yeah, I've lost the contract. I give it to somebody else. So our scientists are failures. Our politicians are failures. Our philosophers are failures. The devotees are success. Devotees are success. Because we follow the right path. We have qualified Guru to teach us Krishna. Yes, therefore we are on the right path. Our Krishna consciousness movement, in our Krishna consciousness movement, we are accepting knowledge from the highest authority. Krishna. Krishna is accepted as the highest authority by all classes of men. I am speaking first of the two classes of transcendentalists. One class of transcendentalists is called impersonalist, Mayavadi. They are generally known as Vedantists, led by Sankaracharya. And there is another class of transcendentalists called the Vaishnavas, like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami. Both the Sankara Sampradaya and the Vaishnava Sampradaya have accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of God. Sankaracharya is supposed to be an impersonalist who preaches impersonalism, impersonal Brahman, but it is a fact that he is a covert personalist. In his commentary about Gita, he wrote, Narayana, the supreme personality of God is beyond this cosmic manifestation. And again, and then again, he confirms that that supreme personality, what is Narayan, is Krishna. He has come as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, and he has particularly mentioned the names of his father and mother. Therefore, we have to approach the Guru. So what is the aim of the Vedas? What is the aim of the Vedas? Gita 15:15. The actual aim of Vedic research is to find out Krishna That's the aim. We should not forget. I will continue to this. This is the issue. Let's say the main point of Isopanisad to establish Krishna, the Supreme Personal Godhead, to keep us in connection with the Supreme Personal Godhead, to get our problem resolved by destroying all our unnecessary things and send us back to Godhead. So Isopanisad main business is to keep us close to Krishna, our deliverance. Huh? So the actual aim of Vedic research is to find out Krishna. Who is Krishna? What is our relationship with him? Yes. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is that one must approach. The word compulsory is used, a bona fide spiritual master. For what? And what is the qualification of the spiritual master? He has rightly heard the Vedic message from the right source. Otherwise, he is not bona fide. He must practically be firmly established in Brahman. These are two qualifications. This message is coming from one of the Upanishads. It's coming from one of the Upanishads. Tad Viganaratam Viga Chet Samit Panisrutriyam Brahmanishtam. Eva Viga Chet, proper use. Eva Viga Chet means compulsory. It is not optional. To get a special master is not an option. It is compulsory, except you are not a human being. Every human being should have a bona fide special master. Compulsory. One must approach the guru compulsorily. And the qualification of the special master is here. Shrutriyam Brahmanishtam, two qualifications. He has rightly heard the Vedic message from the right source. That is one. Otherwise, it's not bona fide. Then he must practically be firmly established in Brahman. That is two. Brahmanishtam. Shrutriyam Brahmanishtam. Hearing properly from the bona fide source, and he has fully realized that and fully accepted, is fully convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Person of God. These two qualifications are there. When these two qualifications are there, one must approach him. One must approach him. Yes. We must make approach. So he can keep us very close to Krishna. Yes. This Krishna conscious movement is completely authorized from Vedic principles. This is the authority of ISKCON. ISKCON is firmly established in the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Isopanisad. ISKCON is firmly established. Yes. And also from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This authority is bona fide. It's bona fide. Yes. This Krishna conscious movement is completely authorized from Vedic principles. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the actual aim of Vedic research is to find out Krishna. Yes. And to find out Krishna. That is the aim, to find out Krishna. If you know Krishna, then it is useless. You don't be Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita, it is also stated, Krishna, Govinda, as innumerable forms, but they are all one. They are not like our forms, which are fallible. From his form is infallible. My form has a beginning, but his form has no beginning. It is Ananta. Krishna's body is Ananta. Yes. This is the history. The history is originally we have one Veda. Originally. And so like yesterday, he looked at our situation and he divided into 4. Rig Veda, Samaveda, Atharva, and Yaju. From these 4, we have the Upanishads. And from there also, yesterday, he brought out the Vedanta. It's a commentary. It's a commentary because he knows that it will not be easy for everybody to understand. First one Veda, he divided into 4, and he brought out also Upanishad from there. So Upanishad is part of the Vedas. And from there, he gave also a commentary. Still, look at the work, the mercy of yesterday. The Vedanta Sutta, he gave the explanation. When yesterday still find out that still in Kali Yuga, we would not even understand that. Then yesterday he brought Mahabharata and the 17 Puranas. He brought the Mahabharata. And the conclusion of all of them, all put together, the essence of all this together is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Amala Purana. Yes. So we can say that the Vedas have no author. That means we don't have a modern person who wrote them. So Krishna is the author himself. They came out from Krishna's body, Krishna's breath. So they are eternal. They are eternal. Not that they will change. The Bible is changing. I'm sorry to say that, but it has to be said. The Bible is changing. Our dictionary changes every year. Every year, dictionary change. Every year, especially Jehovah's Witness Bible changes every year. Especially. Yes. Other Bible change, but gradually. The one that changes rapidly is the Jehovah's Witness. The Bible changes. A Veda does not change. They are eternal. They're eternal. There's no mistake. There's no mistake in the Vedas because they are Krishna's breath. Anything else beyond the Vedas are all temporal. With time, they change. But our scripture does not change. Yes? Hare Krishna.
Please, I wanted to ask a question.
What's the question?
From what we are just treating, and we all got to understanding that to hear from the authoritative source is the best. Yes. What is the stand of our Christian brothers who also see the Holy Bible as their authoritative source and see their men of God as the authority, or maybe their spiritual master from whom they are taking this knowledge from? Is it their fault because by the division of religion, they also found themselves to there? Well, some of us were there before we moved by Christians on arrangement. What is their stand? Because we still have parents, you have brothers, sisters who are there and who find it very difficult to maybe follow us to where we are now. What is their stand? Or is there anything devotees can also do to help them in a way? Because some people even find it difficult accepting us. Just recently, I had an experience. The work that I do, I was assigned to speak to one client. I was calling the client on phone, he was not picking up. So I decided to send him a voice message on WhatsApp. I sent a message on WhatsApp, and my picture on WhatsApp, my DP was me dressed in a dhoti and I had tilak on. The client was never picking my call. Later, he called my boss and told him he's not ready to work with people like me. So my boss was like, what is it? He said, the picture you saw on WhatsApp, it looks so scary. The way I'm dressed with some paintings on my face, he doesn't like people of that sort on his side. So he cannot work with us. So he terminated the contract. So my boss called me and I said, well, that is him. It is ignorance. So we are having these challenges, even going out to talk to people. Even if we are not even dressed in tilak, but the message we give out, they see it to be something odd. What is their stand? Hare Krishna.
Wherever we are is due to our karma. As you said, you were there before, now you came to Krishna. What brought you out from there to Krishna consciousness? It's karma, good karma. We have a good karma.
Probably.
When we have a good karma, then you will come to Krishna. If one doesn't have good karma, he cannot come to Krishna. It's a great fortune for anyone to come to Krishna consciousness. It's a great fortune. It's not ordinary. It's a great fortune for anyone to come to Krishna consciousness. That's why we should take it very seriously. We should not miss this chance because it is very risky to miss it. Very risky. It is very, very high. It is not on a material plane. Therefore, many people cannot understand it. Just like if you feed a solid food, a baby, will you be able to digest it? No, you have to digest it because it doesn't have the capacity. So our philosophy is very high. So if people don't have the purity to understand, you will find it very difficult. Scary. Do you carry gun and stand before the person? You have gun with you, you point him gun. What is scary? Because of the sinful activities that are in our nature. When we see a holy person, it's scary. Just like if a thief sees a policeman, it's scary. That is a situation that when we're not pure, we are going to be scared about purity. And purity will be a very big challenge for us. If someone is doing a sinful activity and you see a holy person come before you, it's like just choking the person. So they will not feel comfortable. But if a holy person see another holy person, yeah, you're happy. You're happy. Feel very happy. If Jesus come now, what dress you think he's going to wear? If Jesus come now, what dress will he wear? And not because you are a Hare Krishna devotee. If Jesus come now, what dress do you think he will wear? What was he wearing before? What was he wearing before? What dress was Jesus wearing before?
He said a long robe.
Huh?
Dhoti and chadar.
So if he comes today, what will he wear? Trouser?
Dhoti and chadar.
He wear dhoti and chadar. That's what he wore, and that's what he will continue to wear. Otherwise, if he come with the trouser, will they identify him as Jesus? They will not identify. So what we can do is to become very, very strong in our Krishna consciousness, and that will help. It will help the world. If we are very strong in our Krishna consciousness, it will help the world. The world will be affected. We'll be able to chant the pure holy name. That will make people to understand. They will get purified. All right?
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Therefore, let me teach this Vedic knowledge in writing. He divided the Vedas into 4, Rig, Sama, Atharva, and Yajus. Then he gave the charge of the Vedas to his different disciples. He then taught of the less intelligent classes. Sri, Shudra, and Dvija Bandhu. He considered the woman class, the Shudra class, worker class, and Dvija Bandhu. Dvija Bandhu refers to those who are born in a high family but who are not properly qualified. A man born in a family of a Brahmana who is not qualified is a Brahmana. Who is not qualified as a Brahmana is called Dvija Bandhu. For these persons, he compiled Mahabharata, called the History of India, and the 18 Puranas. The 18 Puranas. These are all Vedic literatures. The Puranas, the Mahabharata, the four Vedas, and the Upanishads. The Upanishads are part of the Vedas. Then Vyasadeva summarized all this knowledge for scholars and philosophers in what is called the Vedanta Sutra. This is the last word of the Vedas. Vyasadeva personally wrote Vedanta Sutra under the instructions of Narada, his Guru Maharaj, spiritual master, but still he was not satisfied. That is a long story described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva was not very satisfied, even after compiling many Puranas, Upanishads, even after Vedanta Sutra. Then the special master Narada instructed him. He will explain Vedanta. Vedanta means ultimate knowledge. And the ultimate knowledge is Krishna. Krishna says that throughout all the Vedas, one has to understand Krishna. Don't repeat Veda beat. Krishna says, I am the compiler of the Vedanta. I am the knower of the Vedas. Therefore, the ultimate objective is Krishna. That is explained in all the Vaishnava commentaries of Vedanta philosophy. The Vedanta philosophy, the Vedanta Sutra, simply hint at what is Brahman, the absolute truth. The absolute truth is that from whom everything emanates. This is a summary, but it is explained in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. If everything is emanating from the absolute truth, then what is the nature of the absolute truth? That is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth must be conscious, Swaraj. He is self-effulgent. We develop our consciousness and knowledge by receiving knowledge from others. But for him, it is said that he is self-effulgent. The whole summary of Vedic knowledge is the Vedanta Sutra. And the Vedanta Sutra is explained by the writer himself. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we finally request those who are actually after Vedic knowledge to try to understand the explanation of all Vedic knowledge from the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. All right. So we have finished with the introduction. I told you before that the pramanas are 10, not only 3. So these are the list of the remaining. These are the list, the complete 10. Can you show it? Yes. Here there are 10. Arsa, Upamana, Abtarpati, Abhava, Sambhava, Aitihya, Chesta, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Sabda. These are the 10 pramanas. These are 10. So we took the best 3, Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Sabda. And of the best 3, one is the supermost. That is Sabda Pramana, which we have already looked into. So these are the 10. They are given by Srijiva Goswami. So here we have the 17 Puranas. They are divided into 3 categories. Go to the PPT. I'm speaking from there.
They will just display it.
Please display it again. You want to see, yes. We have Satvik, Vishnu, Naradiya, Padma, Garuda, Varaha. These are Satvik. Rajasic, Brahmanda, Brahma Vaivarta, Markandeya, Bhavishya, Vamana, Brahma. Tamasic, Matsya, Kurma, Linga, Shiva, Skanda, Agni. It's a Tamasic. All right. We are finished with the introduction. Now we can go to the next one, which is invocation. Invocation. Any question? Before we go.
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I have one question.
Yes.
You mentioned that the Bible, you're going through almost every year there are changes in the Bible, and the Vedas are eternal. There is no change. But we see recently we see that Srila Prabhupada works that have been done in his books. Devotees are editing some of the works that Prabhupada has done. So how we can take this?
Yes, that's a good question. There are two things to look at. First thing is that a statement proper said in the lecture. And something proper said, let's say casual time. Casual time means a informal discussion. So some informal discussion. They don't carry the same weight, especially if it is more than, let me say, put it that way. If they are more than what can be nicely digested. We have absolute knowledge that cannot be changed. Absolute means what? They are always in existence. They cannot be changed at any time. It's the truth. We also have some explanation of the absolute, which does not exist all the time. That has to be looked into or adjusted. That has to be adjusted. And that is what is going on. Not necessarily that it's a proper words are being changed. Yes, there are certain private discussions which, like it's something we say confidential. Is it confidential? Not the knowledge that something which is like a breaking of principle. There are certain things which are not direct breaking of principle. There are certain things which are direct breaking of principle. The things which are not like a direct breaking of principle, we should not overstretch it. By stretching that, it creates confusion and it brings unnecessary disturbance. That is the issue at hand. Do you understand?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
I don't want to give example here. I can give example. I don't want to give examples here. I can give you many examples because I'm part of this discussion dealing with such issues. So there are many examples you can give.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Regarding yesterday class, Maharaj, yesterday class you said that regarding the Shruti and the Smriti, the people who doesn't accept the Smriti, they are uncivilized. So means we need to depend on the Smriti, then only we'll get the final information of the Lord. Then what about the Shruti, Maharaj? Is there any chance, like, you know, there are the sometimes where the people are depending on the Shruti? Is there that chance also like that?
Yes, in Satyayu, people they Shruti, they hear directly, and they have the ability to understand. In Kali Yuga, who can understand? See what Vasudev did from when Veda he went to 4. From there he went to the Puranas. From Purana he has gone to Mahabharata and the Ramayana. From there to the Vedanta Sutra. What is a Sutra? Sutra is an explanation. It's an explanation on the Vedas. Why is he doing this? Because he realized, he knows that people are not understanding. What do you expect from a teacher who go to the class and is teaching something and no student understand? Will you consider as a teacher? Huh? So Vasudev, he has interest. The main motivation is to make us understand what the offering is given to us. Therefore, he's making it very easy for us to understand without diluting. He's not diluting anything, but he's putting in such a way we can understand. So history, itihasas, he's putting in the history form. Yeah, less intelligent. Yeah, we can understand history. Let me give example. Many of us, when you're reading Mahabharata, your hair stand on end, is it not? Right. But when you read Bhagavatam, do you have that experience? When you see how Sastri are fighting, this is great. Really great. You really shit. But when you read Bhagavatam, you will sleep. What is the problem? The problem is the taste. Our taste is not strong. Why is not strong? Our tongue is very dull. And Rupa Swami told us what is making the tongue dull is because of ignorance, avidya. This is Rupa Goswami explanation. So we have jaundice. But therefore, Vasudev is very, very kind that he took his time to see, oh, I'm trying to give them something, but let me see if they can understand it. And at what time to what extent would they understand? So he's breaking everything down into different sections so we can understand it. That is the idea, to help us to understand. And he brought in the conclusion of all of them, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. Just one chapter out of the Mahabharata. But he singled that out for us to understand. This is the idea. So if people say that only Shruti, I don't want Smriti, they are making big mistake. Because they themselves will never understand anything. Why people are studying the Vedantis? You see, we have not been told that Vaishnavas are speculators, Karamis are speculators. Who are speculators? Who are the speculators?
Mayavadis.
The Gyanis are speculators, not Bhaktas, not Karamis. Why those are they the ones who are supposed to be speculators? because they're the one who's studying the Vedas. Why are they the ones speculating? Those who don't study are not speculating, but those who are studying are speculating because they do not understand it. Not this, not this, not this. And then what? What is it? What is it? They don't understand. So, Shruti is important. Smriti is most important. Why? Because it has to give us the explanation to understand the Shruti. Just like we have the two Bhagavatas, the book and the person. After the two, the person is most important because the person is going to help us to understand the book. See, now we are studying Isopanisad. Before you just recite the mantra, that's all. The 18th sloka, you just recite it, no explanation, no commentary. Why our charities will give commentary? Without commentary, how many of us will understand anything? I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I read the Isopanisad, I did not understand anything. Only after reading the purport, still, it was still difficult. Until I read the commentary of my Gurudev on Isopanisad before I can understand. Okay. It was very difficult for me. This is my experience, my personal experience. I did not understand. Even with properties, but I did not understand. It's only about Bhakti, he gave a commentary on this Isopanisad. It is only after I read that book, therefore I can understand this Isopanisad. Which mantra is this? What is it talking about? It is after I read the commentary on the commentary of Prabhupada, before I was able to understand. So now I'm speaking about this because I have gotten the blessing from the teachings, the commentary of His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj, and have listened to lectures from other devotees who have knowledge about this. Then I can draw my conclusion. Okay, this is it. This is it. Now I can understand what is it. So I strongly go against those who do not accept Smritis. I have 100% conviction that they don't understand, and have given my evidence that they don't understand. Why they are speculating? Because they don't understand. A person who understands cannot speculate. He will give you the right thing. Prabhupada did not speculate, he gave us the right thing. So we depend on Prabhupada because he gave the right thing, no speculation. Because he understood, he knows it. Even when you read our Charya's commentary, it's still very difficult to understand. I'm telling you the truth. It is still very difficult to understand. Even if you read Bishwanath Chakrabarti's commentary of Bhagavatam, it's still very difficult. From my experience. So it is explanation is necessary. Why do we have to give a Bhagavatam class every day in the temple? Is it because you cannot read it in the house? Just take one verse, Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Just take one verse, or Isopanisad. Just take one verse and ask 10 devotees to speak on one verse for 10 days. You will hear different things. Different realization will come. Yes. 2004, that experiment was done. 2004, His Grace Shyamasundar Prabhu, he made that festival across Medan in Mumbai. So for the many days of that festival, we're speaking from only one verse of our Gita, 529, only one verse. And many devotees came to speak on that. Every day you hear different experience. Every day you hear something different. All of them, they will speak the same verse, but different understanding. And all of them are very, very wonderful, very sweet. When you put all of them together, you'll be the best. When you hear from 4 people, when you speak the 50th person, you're going to be better. Because you have gotten the realization of 4 people, adding to your own. So explanation is important, especially if it is bona fide. All right.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Hare Krishna.
I also want to ask a little question in relation to what Prabhu just asked. In the Nectar of Instruction, text 1, in Prabhupada's explanation to the purport, he mentioned that there are various ways of getting knowledge, but one who learns by hearing is the best. Now, for what we have discussed today, 3 ways of getting knowledge, which is the Praktasya and then Anuma and the Shabda. If we are to read, and my brother Prabhu just said Smriti and then reading. If we are to read on our own and we don't get the meaning of the text, it is from an authoritative source. For instance, if I take Bhagavad Gita and I read, in my situation whereby before I joined ISKCON, I was reading Prabhupada's books. So does it mean even after reading the book, when I've not heard from a bona fide spiritual master, just by me reading, even if I've not gotten an understanding, shouldn't I treat the book to be an authoritative, or because I've not heard from an authoritative source as Shruti, I've not heard from a spiritual master, I should be on a platform of just having read the book, but I cannot conclude whether it is from authoritative source or I should wait and hear from a spiritual master who is from a bona fide source before I will put both knowledge together and see that now I've heard from authoritative source, and that is Shruti. Hare Krishna. I just need a little explanation on that.
When we read, if you read Bhagavad Gita or Prabhupada, that is authoritative source. That is authority. That's the authority. If you read, we are reading from Isopanisad. It's authority because he gave a commentary. It's authority. The thing is that my understanding or your understanding will not be on the same level. But when we meet somebody else who have read it prayerfully, you understand? When we have a prayerful reading, it's different. But the prayerful reading is different, it's very deep. And more things will be revealed according to the level of our purity or attachment to Krishna. More things will be revealed. And when those things are revealed, we have a better understanding. That is why every time we read, you get new things. Every time you read, you get new things. Every time you read, every time you hear, you get new things. As you continue to practice, you get more and more and more, better realization. It is not stale, it's not stagnant, it's dynamic because you keep progressing. So it's authority.
All right, thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So we move on to invocation. Invocation. Invocation, we are going to look at wholeness and completeness of the absolute truth. This is the topic. Wholeness and completeness of the absolute truth. Absolute personality of God is perfect and complete. The invocation describes the object of the book. The absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, by repeated recognition of his various types of completeness. Sri Isopanisad establishes the supreme position of the personality of Godhead. This we find in this invocation. So we are going to look at two aspects. The personality of Godhead is perfect, and the personality of Godhead is complete. The two things in this section. So let's chant the mantra together. Everyone. Om Purnam Ada Purnam Midam Purnam
Udasi Yate
Purnasya Purnam Ada Purnam So look at the translation. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. This is the this is the head, and everything else is going to come under it. Is the head. What is the head? The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. Two things. This is the head. Om is Puruna. And then Purunam. Idam. Purunam Udachate. Yeah, this is 3. Purnasha, Purnam Adaya. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And Purnam Ebaba Sisate. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. I think here. So we want to take time and look at it carefully. Everything else is coming under here. What is coming under? And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, this is translation, phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete by itself. And because he is a complete whole, even though so many emanations, complete units emanate from him, it remains a complete balance. So we'll take time and look at this carefully. So we divide it into 2. We'll divide it into 2. One section is, completeness, personality of God. So we have A and B. Krishna is complete and he is perfect. So we'll look at it very carefully. The first point here is that Supreme Personality is complete. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete. So we can say he is Brahman, right? He's Paramatma. He is Bhagwan. So he's complete. And he has 3 energies, 3 qualities here. Satchit Ananda. Satchit Ananda. Satchit Ananda. So Krishna is complete. Because he has these 3 features. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Vigraha. The Vigraha makes him complete, completely complete. Vigraha, completely complete. Vigraha. That's a form. And properly explained here in the purport, the complete whole or the supreme absolute truth is a complete personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman forms an incomplete realization of the absolute truth. And so also does the conception of Paramatma, the super soul. The supreme personality of Godhead is Satchidananda Vigraha. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of the Sat. This is one aspect, or eternity aspect. And Paramatma, super soul realization is the realization of the Sat Chit, eternity and knowledge aspect. But realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat Chit and Ananda, or bliss. In that personal conception, this is realized in complete form, Vigraha. This is Krishna. So in this way, we see Krishna is complete. If one has only the Brahma realization, is not complete. If one has the Paramatma, also is not complete. If one has the Bhagavan, is complete. So Krishna is complete. Krishna is also complete. It is material. The material world is complete. The material world is complete because it's coming from Krishna. It's emanation from Krishna. The creation, the maintenance, and destruction is complete. We don't need. if you take a seed, and put on the ground, how many will you get after some time?
Uncountable seeds.
Uncountable seed. For what? It's for what? What is it for? Why is it multiplying? What is the reason for multiplication? What is behind multiplication?
Result of action.
Okay.
Creation.
What is behind it? Maybe you don't understand the question. If you take a seed or you put it on the ground, you get more. You get many. You get more. If you continue to multiply. But why is it multiplying? What is the purpose of multiplication? Why is it expanding?
Enjoyment. Maharaj.
For maintenance. For maintenance. It's maintenance. Yes, it's for maintenance. The material energy is maintaining the world. It's energy, it's Krishna's energy. So if we have the potency to maintain, it's creating and maintaining. So this is Krishna's expansion, his energy is also acting. Do we agree that every day, the sun is not late in rising and is not late in setting?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes,
We are going to do.
So who is controlling that? Who is controlling that?
It's Krishna through the agency of the sun god.
Okay. Yeah. And nature is doing nature. It's under Krishna, but it's nature. It's functioning. It's acting. Eh? Have you ever seen one day that is late? Late?
No, Maharaj.
So the creation, the maintenance, and destruction take place without our like or dislike. Do you agree?
Yes, Maharaj.
So why? It's a emanation of Krishna. The energy is a emanation of Krishna. So everything is going on as it's supposed to be, arranged by nature. By nature, it is going on perfectly, and we cannot check it. We cannot check it. We can't stop it. Okay, I can ask you a question. How can you say the material is complete when it is full of sufferings? What is the answer for that?
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
The material, I'm trying to not complete the one. The material one is said to be complete because it emanates from Krishna, and Krishna himself is complete and perfect. But the suffering comes about as a result of our actions. As we, the living entity, being the marginal energy, our actions are what are causing the problem. But the material world on its own is complete because from the emanation from which it's coming from is complete and perfect. Hare Krishna, that's my little knowledge.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What else? What is it?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
It gives us a provision of going back to Godhead.
Huh? Sorry, I didn't get you. Repeat.
It gives us a provision of going us back to Godhead. These sufferings remind us that we have to go back to Krishna. So,
okay, thank you. Thank you. So suffering is good.
I want to try also.
Yes, try.
The material world is complete because we know that everything we want in this material world, we can get it, or everything is ready in the material world for the material world to move on or to go on. We are suffering because we don't use what is in the material world properly. We living entities.
Okay. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, whatever the purpose Krishna has created this world, we are not using for it. That's why we are feeling it is incomplete and imperfect.
Good. Very good.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, everything that comes from Krishna is perfect and complete. But because we refuse to recognize the source, we refuse to recognize him as the cause of all causes. So we try to create happiness for ourselves, ignoring the source. That is why we are suffering.
Okay. I hope that all of us understand what we are speaking, and we will feel like this, not that only the philosophy we are speaking. Yes, go ahead. The contribution is good. Yes, if everything is complete, material is complete, why is so much of it? That was the question. I'm getting nice realization. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, creation is complete because it's on the complete whole. Even the suffering is also the completeness of the creation because the suffering keeps us in line. It's also helping the Lord in maintaining.
Yeah, very good. If you look at the suffering, If you, yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
The material world is perfect and complete for the purpose for which Krishna has created it. But because we are spirit soul, we are not meant to be in material world. We find it incomplete because it's not fulfilling our spiritual need because of our nature of being spiritual.
Very good. If you look at suffering,
Maharaj.
yes, go ahead.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes. The material world is perfect and complete, but because of our incomplete understanding of the complete world, we are suffering. Incomplete understanding, incomplete understanding of the complete material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
My question was, what? How can you say material is complete with all the sufferings? That was my question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I think we abuse our free will given to us by Krishna, so we are misaligned from the material nature. So that causes sufferings.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, everything here is complete as created by Krishna. We are trying to lord it over material nature or trying to be the controllers over here. That makes a lot. That creates a lot of suffering for us, and we are thinking this is only for suffering. Hare Krishna.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
The material world is complete, and when people they go against the nature's law, then the material world reacts in the form of suffering. So the suffering is also a form of completeness of this material world.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
The material world, Hare Krishna.
Yes, go ahead.
The material world is perfectly made because it emanates from Krishna. But we are suffering because we have refused to accept what he set aside as our quota. And we are also forgotten who the controller is. Yes, I think that is why we are suffering, because of our forgetfulness, knowing whom everything belongs to, and refusing to accept what is meant for us. Yes, that is why we are suffering.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes.
The material world is complete and perfect because the 24 elements is material world is maintaining.
Why are we suffering? If it's complete, why are we suffering?
Because because of our so-called civilization, we are taking that the material world is the spiritual world is depending on material. So because of our civilization, I think that the spiritual world is depending on material things, forgetting the spiritual thing you are supposed to be doing.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna. Yes.
Our sufferings in this material world is directly proportional to our identification. Is directly proportional to our identification with the material world. So it's directly proportional to how much we identify ourselves with the material world.
Okay.
So
very good.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, we are suffering because of our ignorance. Because of ignorance. That's why we are suffering. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
We are suffering because of the illusory representation of the completeness, which is not enough to bring us back to the complete whole.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Yes, this material world is completely perfect. But I can say that we're suffering because of attachment to what is not eternal.
Okay.
A cage made with gold. The bird is meant to fly freely. But even a cage, if you put a gold, not artificial thing you put in a cage, the bird will not be happy because it's not in the right place.
All right, thank you. Very good contribution from all of you. What suffering? When we look at suffering itself, let's look at it specifically. Suffering itself means what? It's a design. It's a design which is part of the completeness of the material. It's a design. So those who are fortunate, for them, the suffering is a hospital. They will get cured by following the right side. And those who are not fortunate, we are not going to change to do the right thing. So what we are suffering or enjoying is a perfect design for which is part of Krishna's arrangement. It is his arrangement, which is meant for this. If you go to jail, are you expecting to be a happy person there? So it's a design to help us to get rectified. So it's part of the arrangement. So it's complete. The suffering is complete because it helps us also to get rectified. So it's Krishna's design. If you are not simple, we will not suffer. Only if you are simple, they will suffer. So if a criminal cannot go to the prison and say, hey, why do you create here? Why do you put me in prison? Why? Because you're a criminal. Yes. So a part of the country, the prison house is part of the country for rectification, the criminals mentality, criminal mentality. So it's part of the program. So it's not saying it is so complete. All right.
All right.
The complete whole personality of God has immense potencies, and all of them are as complete as he is. Therefore, this phenomenal or material world is also complete by itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporal manifestation are completely adjusted to produce complete things necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. As I gave example before, if you put one seed on the ground, you're going to get many. For the purpose of maintenance, is to maintain, to take care of us. So the Christian is not coming to come and produce seed again, produce another seed tomorrow, produce, or the stock is finished, okay, go to the factory and produce more. No, from what he has made, the machine Christian has made can produce, continue to replenish. Everything is complete here. The sun is here, the moon is here, everything, oceans, the hills, and the rivers, everything is complete here. This is Krishna's complete potencies for helping us to get rectified and get out of our material existence. No extraneous effort by any other unit is required for this maintenance. The universe has its own time fixed by the energy of the complete whole. And when that time is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. So we have the creation, we have the maintenance, we have the destruction. It's perfect arrangement. Krishna doesn't have to come to do this. He has already organized and arranged everything. The material world is going on by itself. This is how Krishna arranged it. And then his time is behind, putting everything all into motion for time. Time is propelling everything. This is the representation. All right. Krishna is complete. We'll look at it more. Krishna is not formless. He is a person. Krishna is not formless. He is a person. Okay. Yes. The jivas also we are also complete, is it not?
Yes.
The jivas so we are complete.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes. We can create many machines. That we are already doing, creating so many things. Yes, it's a complete unit. There is complete facility for the small complete unit, the jiva, also included, namely the living beings, to realize a complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living beings, to realize a complete. Do you agree? Yes. Complete unit. For example, what is the arrangement for us? What is a complete arrangement for us?
Acharyas.
Okay, good. Acharyas, good. Yes.
Guru Sadhu Shastra Maharaj.
Good. Isopanisad. Why can you just mention Isopanisad? Start from where we are. They say charity begins at home. Isopanisad is a complete arrangement for us to realize the complete whole, the supreme personality of Godhead. Is it not true?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Isopanisad. It's keeping us close to Bhagwan, Krishna. It's complete. He helped us to realize the complete. And all forms of incompleteness are experienced only on account of what? Incomplete knowledge of the complete. Very powerful statement. So how do you understand that? How do we understand that? What does it mean? This just one sentence.
When we have complete knowledge of Krishna Maharaj, then we understand everything, Maharaj.
And all forms of incompleteness are experienced only on account of incomplete knowledge of the complete. Means what?
Ignorance.
Okay, just one word, you say ignorance. Our problems, all our problems are due to the fact that we don't understand Krishna, we don't have knowledge about Krishna. If we know who is Krishna, which is Isopanisad teaching us, keeping us close to Krishna, then we become also complete. We also become complete. Our incompleteness is because we don't have knowledge of the complete person. When that is established, we also become complete like a complete person, Krishna. Our completeness depends on understanding the complete whole. Is it clear?
Yes, Maharaj.
The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of living being, which is obtained after evolving through 8.4 million species of life in a cycle of birth and death. If a human being does not realize his completeness within the complete in this life of full consciousness, he loses the chance of realizing his completeness and is put again into the cycle of evolution, the law of material nature. Isopanisad is going to describe us, already giving us a hint. This sentence, Papa, is hinting to another verse where Isopanisad is describing us as the killers of the soul. This, the danger of not completing our completeness is what? What is the danger?
The killer of the soul.
We are going to go again through the so-called 8,400,000 species rotation. Samsara. Samsara means rotation. Samsara doesn't mean advancement. Samsara is not advancement. But in Kali Yuga, samsara means advancement. This is our illusion. Samsara means what? They are just going in a circle. A person is running round. Does it make you feel a complete person? Just because you're running around in a circle? This is what we consider advancement. We're just going around the circle. Samsara. Samsara is punishment. The danger of not realizing our completeness in relationship with the complete whole is that we're going to go again through the circle, to continue. Samsara. To continue. Question?
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
My understanding is the 8,400,000 life species includes the demigods, the archangels, the apsaras, Gandharvas, and then the fairies and other people. Does it mean having acquired this human body, we have also been demigods and archangels and angels before? For what we just read, I just want to know if probably we fall short somewhere and then take the human body.
Yes, let me tell you. Aquatics is 900,000. It means that all of us have passed through it. Not that we pass from and jump and go to that form. We have passed through the 900,000 aquatics. That is a circle. You have to finish that circle, then you can go to the next. So we have passed through all those forms without counting. Without counting. All right? Another question, we have only 1 minute for today.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
From this text, my realization is that it's telling us that as a living entity, we should realize our potential, and that when we reach our potential, then nothing will be impossible for us. So since we are part of the Supreme Whole, we are a fragmental part of the Supreme Whole, so we can be perfect as well if we take advantage of the scripture or becoming a devotee or devotional service. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. All right, I will close here for today and we'll continue from here next week. We are not finished. There's so many things more here. We're going to continue from here next week. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Chant one Hare Krishna for Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Prabhu Suprema.
Hare Krishna.
Please, I want to make a plea. Kindly, maybe speak to Maharaj to get us the slides for the presentation. Maybe, or maybe when we are done, like you used to do for us. Hare Krishna.
I told you before. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Good, Anga. Okay, so thank you very much for your participation. And we thank you very much for being there throughout. And we are expecting you next week, Saturday and Sunday. And we hope to see you every time when Maria comes on board. Thank you. Dandava pranam.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good, Anga. Hare Krishna.